And we want to welcome Andrea Proska into the commentary box with Mark and I for this next race. It is Cheryl Blackett up against Cassidy Deane from Canada. Andrea, welcome.
Well, hi, I'm so excited to jump in on this race in particular. Of course, we're seeing the Canadian Maple Leaf there, the single sculler of Cassidy, and she's going to have to watch her line a little bit. I know that these angles can be tricky, but ooh, she's probably going to be warned by the umpire as she corrects there.
Have you had any time with her, like chatting with her about the course, Roaring over Henley? Because obviously the event starts today, so you know, insight of markers, what to look out for, what to be careful of.
Well, as someone who's rode this course before, I know the start is something I've been warning all the Canadians about. You can get sucked into the bank, or you can feel like those trees are kind of leering in on you. But I think Cass has this well in hand. She is such a small but gritty racer. She races out of Duncan with the rest of the team.
And we saw a little flag there just motioning for Cheryl Blackett to move on to her station. Difficult conditions here, very breezy and swirly, and especially in the single scull.
So tough in a single scull where all of your failures and all of your successes are your own, right?
And it's so lonely, isn't it? There's no one to kind of back you up or give you some kind of inspirational advice that you're in the heat of battle. It's like you are on your own. What were your kind of favorite conditions, Andrew, when you kind of race in the single? Was it?
I love rough water conditions.
Rough water, okay.
Because then it's not just about how strong you are, right? It's about how technically you can row the event. And this is a long race, especially in a single. So if I was in Cass's shoes, I would be just getting into my rhythm, making sure I'm staying in contact here. She's got race experience. She just raced at World Cup 2 in the 8 and the 4.
As we come to the live shots on the track now, these two crews are locked together. Cheryl Blackett, who had maybe a very early race lead, has now had that eaten into, and it looks like a decisive move coming now from Cassidy Deane from Canada, as she's really making a move and starting to push away to almost a boat length lead. Wow, what a turn of speed there to now turn this race on its head.
And that's, I love the gamble she took though. She went out hard. You know, you never know when you're racing someone from abroad, internationally, you know, what could happen, but to try and put them under pressure, that was really brave. And unfortunately, the class of kind of Cassidy's kind of showing as she kind of gets into a rhythm, you know, starts to kind of slowly but, you know, gracefully move away.
Well, and Cass might be representing Kingston Rowing Club, but she's actually a longtime athlete. She used to do ski racing in Whistler, so she's bringing a lot of experience with her into that boat, that internal drive of knowing when have I gone too far, that holding her nerve as she did off the start, and looking at her here despite the conditions being a little bit with that wake coming through as the spectators roll in throughout the week. She's looked so strong and in control.
Fantastic shot down the course there. We can see the umpire launch following the race. Looks like Matt Pinsent might be the umpire there in the front of Artemisia, the iconic umpire's launch that follows this race. As we zoom in there, we get a great shot, but Cheryl Blackett, rather. Apologies, I'd be mispronouncing that name throughout the race.
And I love those close-ups of the athletes as well. It gives us an idea and an insight into how hard they're working and what this might be like coming down the course.
I was classed as being on, you know, that grimacing, being on the pain train. Now this course, you know, can swallow you up because it is that extended distance that you're maybe not used to racing over. And the way the kind of river operates, you may have trained here, but the circulation and racing line is different to what you would do if you were normally training here at any other point in the year.
And let's not forget to recognize how big of a shift this is for an athlete. Going from World Cup 2 just a couple weeks ago, from an 8 and a 4 down to a single, it's going to feel a lot longer. You're going to have to stay in that pain for a lot longer, and especially with this stream coming against her.
But it's also a great event to learn more about yourself, you know, your kind of limits, you know, how you can push yourself, and being more, you know, not relying on other people so much taking that opportunity to grow as an athlete.
And what a great opportunity here for Cass. She's doing so well. She comes by the spectators' sport. She's looking in control with lots in the tank, lots of gears, still ahead. I think she'll be really proud of that performance.
And it was a fantastic early start from Blackett, but as we've said, just struggling now to match the experience and caliber of Deane from Canada, international level athlete. But what a fantastic race from Blackett. She's really going for it all the way down the track here, keeping that lead in check, but it will be Cassidy Deane from Canada who takes out this round of the Princess Royal Challenge Cup. Confirmation of that result in the Princess Royal, Deane beating Blackett.